Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News, Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. Stand up for your country. Very interesting speech by President Trump at the UN this morning. So he's on his way in with Melania and the escalator stops working. Okay. Then he gets to the forum and the teleprompter breaks down. And you can just see Trump just reinforces his opinion that the entire United Nations thing is amateur hour. Trump has no use for this crew at all. And that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. All right, so he goes to the UN and he's got a speech that lasts 55 minutes, pretty long. And he wanted to make a few points. The biggest point is that the United Nations is useless because it's run by one world leftists. That was the overarching point for all the nations. Look, we in the United States, I'm paraphrasing President Trump, we know who you are. And you're not in the business to help calm wars down or do anything other than promote leftist ideology. That was what Mr. Trump wanted to get across. Okay? It's appropriate. You make up your mind on it. But that's what he wanted to do. Now, he began by talking about U.S. politics. Now, he knows, you know, I know, nobody in that room gives a whit about U.S. politics. But Donald Trump cannot help himself. He can't. Roll the tape.
And here in the United States, 4 years of weakness, lawlessness, and radicalism under the last administration delivered our nation into a repeated set of disasters. 1 year ago, our country was in deep trouble, but today, just 8 months into my administration, we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, and there is no other country even close.
Okay. Did that impress anybody at the United Nations? No. Is it true? Maybe. Certainly we are the most powerful economic engine in the world. There's no doubt about that. And if all of Donald Trump's policies are successful, we are going to be much stronger than we were before he came into office a second time. I think those two things are true. I know they're true. Now, Donald Trump is frustrated because he doesn't get credit overseas or in the United States for solving conflicts. He says he stopped 7 wars. That's true to some extent. I mean, each situation is different, but he put the arm on 14 different countries and said, you better knock it off or we'll punish you. The United States will punish you. That's a pretty big incentive to knock it off. And then he sweetens it up. You know, if you stop the fighting, we'll do this, we'll do that. That's how Trump deals, okay? But Trump is angry because nobody publicizes that, and the United Nations didn't help him. Go.
But later I realized that the United Nations wasn't there for us. They weren't there. I thought of it really after the fact, not during these negotiations, which were not easy. That being the case, what is the purpose of the United Nations? The UN has such tremendous potential. I've always said it. It has such tremendous, tremendous potential, but it's not even coming close to living up to that potential.
Now that is a scolding of the UN. The individual countries sitting there, they don't care. UN officials probably care, but what are they going to do? Now in Ukraine, which is obviously the biggest issue right now overseas, Trump he didn't spend a lot of time on it. He only mentioned Putin's name once because he's still hopeful that he can somehow maneuver bad Vlad into stopping the mass killing for no reason. Why is he doing this? All right. So he dealt with Ukraine by scolding our allies, American allies. Go.
China and India are the primary funders of the ongoing war by continuing to purchase Russian oil. But inexcusably, even NATO countries have not cut off much Russian energy and Russian energy products, which, as you know, I found out about 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't happy. Think of it. They're funding the war against themselves. Who the hell ever heard of that one? In the event that Russia is not ready to make a deal to end the war, then the United States is fully prepared to impose a very strong round of powerful tariffs, which would stop the bloodshed, I believe, very quickly. But for those tariffs to be effective, European nations, all of you are gathered here right now, would have to join us in adopting the exact same measures.
Okay, and that was it for Ukraine. Now, the countries that buy Russian oil at this point are Turkey, Hungary, Slovakia, France. Boy, that's bad. Belgium and Spain. That's a scandal. I would have mentioned those countries if I were Donald Trump, because they are enabling Putin to continue his murderous spree. Then Trump switched to one of his favorite topics, migration. And he says that all over the world, not just the United States, that the illegal immigration situation is badly damaging established countries. Roll tape on that.
According to the Council of Europe, in 2024, almost 50% of inmates in German prisons were foreign nationals or migrants. In Austria, the number was 53% of the people in prisons were from places that weren't from where they are now. In Greece, the number was 54%, and in Switzerland, beautiful Switzerland, 72% of the people in prisons are from outside of Switzerland.
Okay, those stats seem to be accurate. And migration is on President Trump's mind, and so is global warming, which he considers a major scam. Now, global warming has been embraced by Western Europe and the United Nations. Billions, probably trillions, has been spent on alternative energies. Trump sees a big con. Roll of tape.
Trump was right about everything. And I don't say that in a braggadocious way, but it's true. I've been right about everything. And I'm telling you that if you don't get away from the green energy scam, your country is going to fail. And if you don't stop people that you've never seen before, that you have nothing in common with, your country is going to fail.
All right, so those are the strongest points. To review, didn't really attack Putin or China. And right after the speech on social media, President Trump released the schedule to meet with Xi. So that's going to take place around Halloween at the Economic Conference in Seoul, South Korea. They'll meet face to face. And Trump did not want to antagonize, that's the right word, Putin or Xi in this speech. He could have just lambasted both of them, okay? But he didn't. He did for a reason that he's, and I concur on China. I think the Chinese are going to make a deal with us that's going to be very helpful for the world. I think. Putin is, as I said, and if you read my book, Confronting Evil, my God, the guy is just a psychopath now. And the kicker on it is that in order to stop Putin, Trump's got to convince China to pull away from him. That is the key. They might be able to do it. All right? As far as Gaza and the Middle East, touched upon it a little bit. 157 countries say they want to recognize a Palestinian state, but there is no Palestinian state to recognize. So I'm sitting there going, okay, it's all right with me, you want to recognize a Palestinian state, but go ahead, try to find them. Hamas runs Gaza, Hezbollah runs the West Bank. We're going to negotiate with terrorists. And that's what Trump says. If you prop up a Palestinian state, this is a reward to Hamas. That's why the USA won't do it. I might handle it a little bit differently if I were president, but I have no objection because it's true. The terrorists control the Arab presence around Israel. There's nobody else. So you can recognize anybody you want, but see if they return your phone call, because there's no phones and there's no building. And that's the memo. Let's face it, the U.S. economy is under stress. National debt rising, trade war shaking the markets. And meanwhile, China is dumping the dollar and stockpiling gold. That's why I protected my savings with physical gold and silver through the only dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. And you can do this. Get precious metals delivered to your door or place in a tax-advantaged gold IRA. They'll even help you roll over your existing IRA or 401k, tax and penalty free. With billions in precious metals delivered, thousands of five-star reviews, and an A+ from the Better Business Bureau, you can trust American Hartford Gold as I do. Please call 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. Again, that's 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. If you are 64 years old or older, you gotta hear this. Millions of seniors are on the wrong Medicare plan, and they don't even know it. Don't know it. In fact, the Department of Justice recently sued 3 major Medicare brokers for allegedly claiming to be unbiased while secretly steering seniors toward plans with the biggest kickbacks. Whoa. That's why I am partnering up with Chapter. Chapter doesn't work for the government or big insurance. Works for you. They are the only advisors that compare every Medicare plan nationwide to find what's best for you and your family. They'll even help if you're hit with wrongful medical bills, and that is real advocacy. They have saved the average senior in America $1,100 this year alone. $1,100. Best part, their service is free. You can review your options in under 20 minutes with Chapter. You are in control. So please give them a call. 321-319-1576. Or click the link in the description below. Okay, let's go over to vengeance. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Part of the Bible, right? But Donald Trump intruded on that a little bit. So he wants to get his enemies. There's no doubt about it. You want to be honest. And we do, of course. So there are 3 cases against people that Donald Trump despises. One is Senator Schiff from California. The other is New York Attorney General Letitia James. And finally, former FBI Director James Comey. There they are. All 3 have tortured Donald Trump, tried to destroy him and his family. And now Trump is coming after them. So there was a U.S. attorney in Virginia, Erik Siebert, who was in charge of James and Comey. And Trump fired him because apparently he wasn't moving fast enough or didn't want to move or something. I don't know exactly what Mr. Siebert did wrong, but he's fired, replaced by Donald Trump's personal lawyer, Lindsey Halligan, 36 years old, from Colorado. She worked in Florida with the president. She is the new attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. Now, again, she's going to do what Donald Trump suggests, but she can't manufacture evidence. She can't. But she can aggressively investigate. These things are very murky. So Adam Schiff, he apparently has a house in Maryland that he's not doing. He's saying that he lives there, but he doesn't live there. And Letitia James, the same thing. She has a house in Virginia, and she said it was her primary residence, but it's not her primary residence. And Comey, it's all about lying about the Russian collusion investigation. Those are the three charges that are swirling. All right. So on Adam Schiff, here's what President Trump said. Go.
I stay out of it purposely, but it's mortgage loan fraud. It's a big deal. He defrauded banks and insurance companies and the federal government. But it's very simple. It's mortgage loan fraud. And you're right. It's a lot of people to live in a one-bedroom apartment, right? But he put it down. But he has a lot of other things far worse than that. So, no, Adam Schiff, they have him 100% on mortgage fraud.
Well, I don't know whether they have 100% because he would be indicted then, but that's a Maryland play. As far as Letitia James, it's kind of the same situation with a mortgage deal. Roll it.
Well, I don't know what it is currently, but Letitia James, who's the Attorney General of New York State, it seemed, I'm not involved in that at all. I know that it's being handled by various groups, I guess, but it's major fraud, mortgage documents, and fraudulent everything.
All right. So, I mean, he says he's not involved, but Donald Trump's monitoring this. You know he is. And joining us now from Tulsa, Oklahoma, is a former U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Oklahoma under Donald Trump in his first term, Trent Shores. Why do you think Erik Siebert in Virginia was fired?
Listen, when you sign up to be a United States attorney, you serve at the pleasure of the president. So you know going into that job that you may be forced into situations where you have to make a decision. In this case, I don't know that we publicly know enough facts to know why Mr. Siebert was removed from his position, but that is a power that the president enjoys. He is the leader of the executive branch. He can set priorities. He can give direction. The one thing that the president doesn't do, as he knows, is make charging decisions. That ultimately is left up to the United States attorney and to the officials at DOJ. In this case,
but you have to assume that Siebert was reporting to Pam Bondi, the attorney general, and Pam Bondi was reporting to Trump, and Trump did not like the way this investigation was being handled. I mean, that's 100%, right?
Yeah, I don't know that we know it's 100% that the president didn't like how the investigation was being handled. I think what the president is wanting are charges brought sooner. He believes that based on what he knows, it certainly seems that he thinks there is a case that is provable beyond a reasonable doubt. We have to remember, we don't know what evidence Mr. Siebert or his team of investigators have assembled. But there is no question that there is an investigation ongoing. A mortgage fraud case, Bill, it's a white-collar case. These aren't always quick or swift investigations. They're document-laden and intensive. So it could be that they just haven't reached an ultimate conclusion yet whether to bring charges.
Okay, well, I think that is the case, but Siebert was displeasing President Trump because he's one out of what? How many U.S. attorneys are there? There's hundreds across the country, and he's singled out for a firing. Now, when you were the U.S. attorney in Oklahoma, what did you have to do on high-profile cases? Did you have to call Bill Barr, the Attorney General? Did you have to keep him up to speed? How does that work?
Sure. That's a great question because a lot of folks don't know. You are empowered as a presidentially appointed and Senate-confirmed United States attorney to make those tough calls. But again, you don't do so in isolation. We look to the Justice Manual, which is our sort of insider handbook that provides us guidelines and policies. And when you have a high-profile case like that, you are going to coordinate, of course, with the Office of the Attorney General. In my case, that was Bill Barr and that was Jeff Sessions. You're also going to work closely with the Deputy Attorney General to ensure that what you're doing is in accordance with department policy.
Yeah, and they want to know, too, so when Trump asks them, or Biden or whatever president, they can say, this is where it is, this is how they're going, and this is the odds of an indictment, on and on and on. But I would assume that there are some U.S. attorneys that get cases they don't like, and they
Sure.
kind of slow walk it, right?
I don't know that there are U.S. attorneys, in my experience, Bill, that'll slow walk a case if they have been presented with their job by that particular president. I don't think any prosecutor becomes a prosecutor because they don't want to prosecute cases.
But what
I
about the
think,
politics of it? I mean, not, I wouldn't say in Oklahoma that would be a major factor where you are, but certainly in Washington, D.C., my God, there's politics and everything there. So if
sure.
this guy Siebert, if his whole world is, anti-Trump, which is absolutely possible, and he doesn't want to really bring charges against Comey, and who he probably knows, right? Comey, you have to know him, and James, then he's kind of like, well, you know how it goes. You can pedal to the metal, or you can just give it to your 15th guy, right?
Listen, there's no doubt that it's a political appointment, but I think you see that U.S. attorneys that do the job well follow where the evidence leads, and that's not always politically convenient. At the same time, there is no problem with the attorney general or even the president himself expressing that they hope their prosecutors, their U.S. attorneys, are more aggressive. Looking at Mr. Seibert's case in the Eastern District of Virginia, he has to make a determination, one, whether he has the evidence to satisfy the elements of the crime, to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. And two, he has to look at who's going to be in his jury pool there in the Eastern District of Virginia. And I think those present challenges potentially to bringing a case that has this perception, as it's been presented by mainstream media, that it's a political prosecution, even if it's not.
All right, so you're suggesting that Mr. Seibert may have gotten shafted on this.
I'm not saying you got shafted.
No, I know you're not saying it, but you're saying you're leaving open the possibility that he was doing his job in an honest way and he got whacked because Trump wanted it done faster.
Sure, I think that's possible. This idea of justice delayed is justice denied is not a foreign concept in our system. But yes, Mr. Seibert had choices in front of him, and it appears that when you serve at the pleasure of the president, as is the case in any administration, that you may face choices that could result in you needing to step away from your job.
All right. We appreciate it, Counselor. Thanks very much for helping us out. I think that he was honest, and every president has certain cases that they're very interested in, and they want specific updates, and if you don't give it to them, you're gone. And that's just the way the system works. Living on credit cards to cover daily expenses? Then you know those interest rates are brutal. Why pay 20% or more to the banks? Instead, call my friends at American Financing. With mortgage rates in the fives, they can help you keep your hard-earned money right in your pocket and out of the hands of credit card companies. Right now, American Financing is helping homeowners save an average of $800 a month by using their home equity to wipe out high interest debt. There's no upfront fees, no obligation, just a 10-minute call to a salary-based mortgage consultant. Plus, if you start today, you could delay 2 mortgage payments. That's more cash in your hands right away. So don't wait. Call American Financing right now. 888-462-9557. 888-462-9557. AmericanFinancing.net/bill. If you are handling your own books or relying on a bookkeeper, it could lead to inaccuracies, missed deductions, and cash flow blind spots. FYSI's team of seasoned accounting professionals, corporate and tax attorneys manage every journal entry, bank reconciliation, and month-end close with precision, delivering clear, timely financial reports. They incorporated advanced tax avoidance strategies into your bookkeeping to capture deductions before you file. And they connect you with industry leaders and referral partners for growth opportunities. Set up your free consultation to learn how FYSI's experts can transform your books into a growth engine and accelerate your business to the next level. Act now to claim your free $5,000 business assessment, available for a limited time. Please go to fysi.com/bill. Use promo BILL, or you can call 800-877-4000 today. Final thought of the day, as you may have heard, big, and I mean big, Three Americans show at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. on October 15th. So this is going to be broadcast live on News Nation and the CW network. They're taking out the car racing and they're putting in Stephen A. Smith, Chris Cuomo, and me, your humble correspondent. It's going to be a good show. Now, tickets are limited in the Kennedy Center, all right? So if you go to the News Nation website, I guess it's newsnation.com, and you put Kennedy or something in the upper right corner, you'll get how you can get tickets to the show. October 15th, Washington, D.C., Kennedy Center, Three Americans. You will like it. Live broadcast all over. And I've seen the lineup of guests, and it's quite something. So we're going to have a lot of laughs, but it's going to be discussing serious things. The Three Americans concept, as you know, is very, as President Trump would say, hot. It's a very hot concept. Maybe the hottest concept in the world. Probably not, but hey, would love to see you there in the Kennedy Center in D.C. on October 15th. Thank you for watching and listening to the No Spin News. I'm Bill O'Reilly. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching. To view full episodes of the No Spin News anytime, sign up to become a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member today.